All right. Good morning. Good evening. Good night. Welcome into NFT Live on the Web3 Network. Bitcoin Pizza Day Hangover Day is what this should be called, Gifted. Are you feeling any Pizza Day hangovers from your birthday celebration there, big boy?
Just a lot of embarrassment and awkwardness from what transpired in Denver and what you what
It's
you
an
did,
emergency. It's an
what you
emergency.
what you did.
Hey, Nina C, OniForce community manager here. This is an emergency. Get all the OniForce folks into the channel right now
Yo,
because listen, if you want to see peak FOMO, that is going to be me when we start talking about OniForce, which is now at a 1.75 ETH floor.
yeah,
Fun times.
Yeah, Nina, happy to have you here. We talk about Oni a lot, and we have quite a history. We actually had Star Lordy, on as our episode 200 special guest on GMWeb3 on Twitter last Thursday, and that was an excellent episode. So happy to have you here now. This guy right over here, Mr. Nifty Q, has been talking y'all up, saying that OniForce is going to be at a 10 ETH floor, not financial advice, and yet he didn't pull the trigger when it was down at a buying price of around 0.4. Yeah, go ahead and summon them. We're going to be talking a lot about how Nifty Q fucked up and didn't buy the dip on the OniForce today. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for me, especially after what you did last night, after what you pulled. Yeah.
All right, hold up. Let me summon them. Okay, we will hold up. We'll hold up the episode right now just for you. Omar says OVOT. Hashrhyme says welcome to Nini and the OniForce, and then Squashman saying our vibe, our tribe. I saw Prodigy in earlier as well. Good to see you guys. We just pressed live on the episode today. I just pressed live on the second ever episode of the Wild Wild Web. This was with Arclegger, a prominent game designer in the Web2 space, but now, of course, in the Web3 space. He's also a Bored Ape member himself. Let me make sure I can pull that up here.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No.
This is important. This is important.
Yeah. No, so he has a long history in the traditional gaming space. He actually created, with multiple people, H1Z1, which was I guess one of the first and most popular battle royale games in that genre. And obviously those are huge now throughout the world. But yeah, Arclegger is awesome. I was almost not able to get this episode done, so we were happy to kind of all sit together and have this episode be completed.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see you back in the one-on-one interview zone, keeping the podcasts. We need more podcasts. That's one thing that I've heard as far as like feedback in general from everybody in the world is that we need more podcasts. So I'm very, very excited about Wild Wild Web, everything that you're doing, and hopefully I can even contribute some one-on-ones. We'll see if I can get in there. But there you go, live on Spotify right there. Look at that, looking good.
Yeah, so we touched on a bunch of different things. Of course, his gaming experience is going to lean into the other side a little bit. So he was super bullish, shocker, on the other side. But I asked him questions like, can the other side be a great MMO? Are MMOs going to be the most popular games when it comes to Web3 games, right? Like, I think we always think Ready Player One when it comes to, the implementation of the metaverse. So I wanted to get his feedback on, our shooters or RTSs or is the sandbox going to be the reason why Web3 games comes back? So really cool interview there. We sat down for a little bit over an hour, so that was cool. And Prodigy's here saying H1Z1 was dope. So yeah, it was in fact. PUBG, those were the days.
Well, our vibe, our tribe to all the amazing people showing up here already. And if you're an Oni part of the enclave, you know what? Welcome as well.
Okay.
I have a serious question though, Q. Now that I do not currently own an ape, am I like not allowed to wear this anymore? Is this like not allowed?
You don't even own a mutant, so you sold your mutant as well.
Yeah, am I breaking the code, like wearing any of my Bored Ape merch now that I have no apes? Is this like, am I a poser? If I wear any of my ape merch now?
We'll let
Honest question. Let me know in the chat what you think. Should I basically just burn all of my ape merch now because I don't deserve to wear it anymore? I'd love to know. how y'all feel about people rocking NFT merch if they don't currently hold.
Yeah, Choni was saying Stoked Wild Wild Web is on the Apple podcast too. It's distributed everywhere. I think we made like a conscious decision, like, hey, we want to have this maybe be Spotify native. We like what they're doing with video, so that was why we say Spotify. But it is on Apple Podcasts and wherever you find all of those. A couple last bits of housekeeping here. This is the episode today. So question being, can OniForce be the next blue chip? I left GIF off the thumbnail on accident. Damn it. Usually there's a nice little pretty thumbnail of him there. Topics are going to be Ledger, Recover. We'll get into that in just a second. PSYOPS and meme and NFT price floors surging. But really, is OniForce going to be a blue chip here relatively shortly? I don't want to get into this right off the bat because I feel like we should dedicate some actual time to it. I do think that after this like little bit of hype on this announcement of whatever's coming today, I think we'll get a little bit of a pullback. So I'm hoping for a little bit of a pullback.
On Oni, yeah, I'm curious what this new announcement is. I'm gonna say something controversial. You know, we're here. Today is like a hot takes only day, as far as I'm concerned. It is our Bitcoin Pizza Day hangover day, so hot takes only. Fuck it, YOLOing my way through this episode today. I think once a blue chip, always a blue chip. Frankly, OniForce was a blue chip. I think they're still a blue chip. I think what people have started to point out, which is that, hey, Azuki's at a 15 ETH floor. Onis are only at like a 1 ETH floor. Why should there be such a discrepancy between these two projects? I agree. I totally agree. I think Onis still have a long way to go up. They still have a lot of upward price action potential. Not financial advice, fam. Let's hit this. Let's go ahead and do this real quick off the bat before we get too far down the line, because it's important. It's key, actually, for your safety and for ours, fam, that we constantly remind everybody this is not financial advice. Information was found publicly on the internet. Opinions shared on this episode are solely of the Web3 team. All information is public domain. So please do your own research, DYOR, fam. We're not responsible for anybody's bags.
Yeah, the only people's responsible for our bags are us. So,
and barely. Well, actually, though, I did actually
what?
go. I went shopping last night
for a little pudgy.
I would gladly share my new NFT acquisitions. I will.
If what?
You want to now? Well, just when in the episode. When in the episode do you want me to?
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, guys, I'm gonna do my last bit of housekeeping, and then we're gonna see Gift Ed's bags because I want to see what's happening in there. Let me make sure I've got it up. Again, this is going to be the tweet for the day, so I'm going to share that link here in chat. If you guys can go and give that a like, that would be great. It does help us get the word out. Again, Twitter algos, Elon Musk thinking, hey, replies are the way that people should share tweets out and get that distributed. So apparently replies are really strong. Should we do like an ApeCoin giveaway? I feel like I want to do an ApeCoin giveaway on the Wild Wild pod, though. You know what? We'll do this live because we're professionals. So we'll see you guys in just a second. Stay tuned and we'll do an ApeCoin giveaway. Before we get to the bags, this is going to be the major breaking story for the day. Ledger Recover. So if you were here, earlier this week / over the weekend, me and Gift Ed have been like flip-flopping on this a little bit, or at least myself. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but when this first came out, I was like, hey, look, man, like everyone's not going to need to have their secret, recovery phrase, stored in different areas and able to be recovered. Like you need to be able to have self-custody. Of course, that's what we as true Web3 enthusiasts want. We want to have the ability to say, hey, I have self-custody. There is a black and white there. There is no half-ass self-custody. Can't be half pregnant. So we were initially, really against this Ledger Recover. Then we started to say, hey, maybe we need this for the next wave of adoption. Maybe, my grandmother needs this to be able to hold their crypto. And then we started to see Ledger itself start to talk about Ledger Recover. And that's where the red flags started to pop up everywhere. Because they were basically like, hey, we could have made this firmware update at any time and not have it be opt-in. And like specifically, they said that. They said, we're not going to do that, but we have the ability to. And so all of this backlash from the community, well, we have the message from CEO Pascal Gauthier, chairman and CEO at Ledger, saying, hey, guys, we're going to push this back a little bit. And so that's what we got.
Yeah, and maybe even more meaningfully than that, it's that they're going to actually start open sourcing more of their code before they push anything live. That's a W. To me, this is actually a community W, because what they said is like, we are Ledger, we are greater than the community. And the community said, what? Fuck you. And then they backed off and they said, actually, here's what we're going to do to make the community happy. So I see this as a big win. Actually, yeah, initially I like the flip-flopping part was that we thought people were being a little bit overreactive to a new opt-in service that's trying to onboard more people, make Web3 more accessible, which it is all of that. But first of all, they fumbled the communications so badly. Like this was a masterclass in how not to roll out a new product or engage with your community. Like if you want to see the wrong way to handle a new controversial product launch, this is as far as you need to look. So the communication was abysmal on how they handled it. But then the other thing is that like a lot of legit questions have been raised, and frankly, like they needed more transparency. They needed to probably be taking more of these steps to actually stay in line with the Web3 ethos, like these fundamental values of Web3 that they are expected to protect. That's why so many people feel betrayed here, is because fundamental ethos is like self-sovereignty, like self-custody, transparency, open source, all of these things that people absolutely look to Ledger to be a leader on, protecting these values. They were going against all of this, right? With the way that they were handling all this. So I in retrospect understand a little bit more of why there's so much outrage, and I'm glad that there was this pushback and a lot of these questions being answered. And I actually, again, I think that it's a W, the fact that they're saying, hey, we're going to open source this code before we push anything live. We're going to be more transparent. We're going to delay this. One of the best takes that I've seen was that why would you not release a separate product for this
brand name,
for this specific service, instead of being like, hey, all those products that you bought for a specific purpose, we're going to change that purpose.
Yeah. So I just dropped this question in chat. What did y'all think about Ledger Recover, as well as this like pullback? We talked about this in the morning show that we host on Twitter Spaces before this, and I wrapped up at least my thoughts on it were, this is first principle stuff in Web3, is the idea of having self-custody of assets, and they fucked with that. And what's crazy about Ledger is your only job is to not screw up. Like just go status quo, release a couple updates. Like Ledger Stacks seem to be like a cool UX UI update, but just don't mess with like, the self-custody trustless aspect of this. And they were like, no, we're gonna fuck with that. And they're paying the price.
So I agree with most of it. I don't know that I agree that it's like their only job, because they do need to innovate and create new products. They do need to create the infrastructure.
As 2017.
But yes and no. But then you've got the stacks, you've got other things. Like they do need to be innovating and building the space. So it's like, I get what you're saying. It is their primary function, right? Is just keep it secure. Just don't fuck that up, right?
Yeah. Troy is saying, I think it's a service that could be great for the space, but I'm expecting a new product to be released. There you go. Troy is in agreement with you, Gif. Okay, we have a definitive answer. When I say definitive, I mean like nothing else can be said about this topic. Gifted was asking, he doesn't have a mutant anymore. He doesn't have his ape anymore, but he has the mutant hat. And so the question to the community was, can he still wear the hat without being seen as a poser?
I got thousands of dollars worth of ape merch.
Of black merch, I'm guessing. Just all black merch. NFTGo is saying once an ape, always an ape. Oni here from the Enclave. Hey, crypto lover. Let's see. NFTGo is saying you were a holder at one point, which means you were part of its growth. So all the power to you to wear the merch wherever you hold, whether you hold or not, in my opinion. No hate for anyone selling. It's part of the game.
I was a holder from the beginning for over 2 years, so I appreciate that answer. I appreciate it.
There you go. You got the long-term capital gains too.
Well,
you don't have to pay the short term. There you go.
And frankly, the only way that I got the merch was by being a holder and spending a whole lot of money. So yeah, if people were gonna give me shit about it, that'd be pretty toxic.
Yeah, I mean, we got dropped a whole ton of money too. To be fair.
Yeah.
Holding the ape, we probably got dropped almost half the value of the ape in and of itself. Choni said we need a poll for the merch question. Pave Wizard says Oni here, ready for the rise. This is what we are looking at on Oni. The comeback tour starts tomorrow. This was posted yesterday. I am upset.
I finally got re-verified. My blue check is back after switching my PFP to my forever Oni.
Yes.
So that's
clean,
good news,
dude.
Thank you.
Clean.
Well, dude, it's token 0035 gifted to me before launch by the original team. So I'm proud of that Oni. That's my forever one.
Dude, the yellow, the yellow
background pops.
It does. Like there are just some colors. Like we're gassing ourselves up here, but Nifty Q as well. I mean, come on. I'm rocking.
I mean, you should get an Oni though.
I should. I do have. Okay, before this continues, I do own one Oni. Okay, one Oni. So don't.
I thought you said two. You bro. You capped.
I looked back at the wallet and I own.
You capped.
I thought about it.
Well, okay. You know what? Okay, I don't know what's coming with. I don't know. I don't know what's coming with the comeback tour, but yeah, I know that they've been working on a lot of awesome things. Again, episode 200 of GM Web3 from last Thursday, which is live on Twitter and Spotify and audio platforms. We should pull that up. It's an awesome episode. We got to sit down with Starlordy, the man himself, the new CEO at the helm of Oniforce, took it over, is leading this into the future. They've been working their butts off, and we got all kinds of cool insights, all kinds of alpha, all kinds of hints at what's coming. So I'm very excited for it. And yeah, I'm going to give you shit forever for not pulling the trigger on your own advice and buying more Onis.
Here's the thing. I know they're saying that the announcements are in the hopper, but there's whatever crypto Twitter, NFT Twitter, whatever. They love hey, we got something tomorrow. Like that is an amazing just like tool of FOMO for the NFT Twitter, because it immediately shot up like another whole like half an ETH.
I would love if somebody could do research to figure out like what percentage of the top performing tweets on crypto Twitter are all just announcements of announcements.
Fair.
They're not saying anything other than something's coming. Like how many... Those hype tweets just fucking kill it on the algorithm.
Yeah, so I had that podcast with Arclair yesterday, and he was talking about the releases and people saying, oh, heavy metals and all of this releases are diluting the, I guess, environment of Bored Ape ecosystem in Yuga. And he was like, what if they did nothing? Like if they did nothing, your ape would be at like 15 ETH. So stop complaining, which I agree with. But that is one project that utilizes the, hey, we're doing it soon, fuck it, Mutants Monday, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they also have a track record to actually show that they are doing it, and like when they say there's something coming, it's not just a bunch of fluff and nonsense. But yeah, one of my favorite new trends is people that are literally just like, like and retweet this in the next 5 hours, you've been warned, you won't regret it, or just something like that. It's just like, so literally you're telling me nothing other than maybe something might happen if I engage
potentially.
Give you some of my engagement. It's ridiculous. But it works, I guess. Shout out to the trolls and the farmers on Twitter, just making a fucking killing, building an entire lifestyle off of these fucking tweets. This nonsense, vague promises of nothing. It's amazing.
Don't you love it when like the little substance is what's shown the most on Twitter? This is just great. It's great for our space overall. Hey, we got a lot of quick news to hit on, but we do have a lot of OniForce folks in chat. So maybe relatively soon, within like the next 5 minutes, we'll touch on a little bit of OniForce, what we think about its future. We talked with Star Lordy again, or Gifted did talk with him on Thursday. Hopefully we can get him on the Wild Wild Pod as well, Wild Wild Web. That would be a good thing. But this is a developing story. Coinbase, I hate the blocks UX UI. Just the worst in crypto. Coinbase hits back at SEC with new court filing in ongoing lawsuit. This happened like seconds ago. Like as we hit live, this happened. So obviously Coinbase and the SEC are at odds. Coinbase has hit back at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, telling court the regulators talking out of both sides of its mouth. The crypto exchange reiterated its argument that the SEC has already made up its mind to deny new requests. 23-page filing here. Let's see if we can pull out anything else. The SEC and its chair's words and actions leave no doubt of the agency's plans. The SEC has no intention of engaging in such rulemaking in the foreseeable future, and that decision may be unreviewable indefinitely unless the court grants Coinbase's mandamus petition. Sorry. Again, we said at the beginning of the episode, we are not financial or legal advisors, and you can tell by my reading of that court filing. What do we think?
I'm over here trying to tweet at the OniForce fam. But yeah, we had an actually really fascinating conversation this morning on GM Web3 also about like some of the developing legal stories in the space too. There's going to be so much of these legal battles and new precedents getting sorted out in all kinds of ways. And what's really interesting is now some of it's bleeding on chain. Like it's becoming maybe a new norm to like serve legal notices or different types of complaints as NFTs. This is, in reference to what's going on with PSYOP and also apparently PR Guitar Man. So I'm kind of jumping in like, conflating two different situations here. I don't really know where this ends up, right, with Coinbase and the SEC. I'm very happy that Coinbase is pushing back because it is very clear. Like Gensler keeps saying, I've seen Bankless sharing about this recently too. He keeps saying that all these companies are not in compliance and the rules are clear, but they just aren't, right? It's just like there's no clarity at all.
Well, the rules are clear.
That's the two sides of the mouth. He's trying to pull a Jedi mind trick where it's like the rules are made. Everybody understands the rules.
They're
clear.
Crypto.
Yeah. that is basically the rule, but he hasn't said that either, right? So I don't know. Again, this is where, regardless of what you think for Coinbase, you should be rooting for them because we need them to make some moves here.
This is what this whole episode is going to be. Botak just said 4, 5, and 5E sales for OniForce in the last few hours.
Yeah, this shit's about to pop off, Q. You missed it. But hey, if you've got conviction, it's still a good time to buy, Q. Just saying, still a good time to buy if you got conviction, Q. What are you waiting for, Q? Hey, OniForce fam, tell him in the chat. He needs to get off of he's sitting on his thumbs over here. He's not doing shit. He's been talking about it for months. Hasn't pulled the trigger on getting some more Onis. So shame him. Hold him accountable. Hold this man accountable. You know what? Hey, Nifty Q. You know what's a great example of talking out of both sides of your mouth is when you're saying OniForce at 10 ETH floor. I'm not going to buy any at 0.4 or 1 ETH. That's a Gary Gensler. I feel like you're laying a big old Gary Gensler on us.
I was waiting for it to fall more. I thought, hey, maybe a little bit less and I can accumulate a little bit more.
Well, that strategy is
Squash,
not working out for you.
Squash is saying, I think if Oni hits 0.45, I'll pull the trigger, was my exact quote. And I think it got down to like 0.48 or 0.5. Whatever, man. Look, if you're in this space long enough, it's gonna happen. You know, wise words there with Mike Finch on that podcast. At least pick up a second one. LOL, playing a dangerous game with only one. That's the thing. I do believe. Okay, here we've been on this Oni Force train for a little while. I do believe that we have a pullback to like 1 ETH at some point. Okay, I know that everything is pointing in one direction, but that is what's going to happen. And it didn't work out well for me.
Are you going to tell me, Q, that if it gets back down to 1 ETH, now you're pulling the trigger? Okay. Yeah. We've seen this movie before. Shout out Nini C over here saying that these engagement farming tweets are the new chain letters. If you don't send this to 10 people, something terrible will happen. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I see a lot of that happening on Twitter these days.
These are the times. DP saying ignore the peer pressure. These are the times that are hardest to see the train and thinking that it might pull away from the station. Those are the hardest FOMO times. But I do want to reiterate. I own an Oni. So
let's see it. Can you pull it up? I you know what?
I need my old
pics or it doesn't have, or it's not real. JPEGs or it's not real, bro.
I need to find like my old wallet address so I can pull this up.
He doesn't even know where it is. I don't believe him. I don't think he's got any Onis.
No, I got it.
He's just gonna go pick a random one.
Yeah.
He's gonna do what all the people do when they're trying to get into like the gutter cat party at Miami Basel. They just like Google gutter cat and like hold it up.
Is this that?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes. Yeah, it definitely works sometimes.
Okay. 1.77 ETH is the floor for Onis right now. Here's my Oni.
The floor is lava.
So you can see owned by Nifty Q. Okay.
Yeah, we got the same hairstyle and the same headphones, Q. They're kind of like related.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, and I almost want to run a poll for like all of NFTs, but I'm interested in the background conversation. Like, what is the best background for Twitter? And you have to use dark mode, right? Like, if you're using Twitter light mode, you're a fucking psychopath. So what Twitter PFPs stand out on that Twitter dark mode? Because it's such an important aspect. And I'll throw my hat in the ring. I love the yellow standout. I think it starts with yellow. I think you could make an argument for orange, and then maybe that aquamarine like teal color. I think those like really stand out to me. Some people are going to say red, like I see Deck in with the red background Oni. But look, I'm just here, just a humble guy.
All right, I feel like he's convinced me he's got at least one Oni, so we can at least give him that. People were saying to ignore the peer pressure. Yo, peer pressure works. All right, I don't know what y'all are trying to stop here. Peer pressure has always worked. It's just how the world works. Frankly, it runs off of peer pressure and hype. So
I'm gonna run GIF. I'm gonna run this poll because I'm super interested. I don't know why. Like I just love this question, but the colored backgrounds. Like, what color should we put on that poll
specifically for Oni?
No. Just in general, any NFTs. I need to know what color is the background. So I've got
for Twitter specifically, right? So you're saying best background colors for Twitter PFPs.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think I have 4 options. So I'm gonna put let me know, what should we put? What do we put?
Yellow, orange, blue, red. Not purple. Yeah, yellow, orange, blue, red. Those are probably like this is just so subjective though. You know what I mean? Like what are you measuring this
out of?
Yeah. But I guess by putting a poll to it, it becomes slightly more objective. So that would be the point here. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick so you can see some of my pickups last night.
Okay, Nakamigos.
I did pick up 4 Nakamigos. That was like a week or 2 ago, but I haven't shown those. So you know what? There you go. They all have hats, interestingly enough. Hat gang, Naka hat gang, where you at? I did go ahead and pull the trigger on these 2 more fellas. I'm sitting on, I think, 5, and I put in some more offers on Deadfellows to sweep the floor. But I really like these two. This one is actually, I think, decently rare. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. But yeah, I got a black background one, and then I picked up a subduck.
See, I
Picked up a subduck.
I haven't seen this quote in a long time. I need a subduck. Like what? Like I haven't seen that in a while. Subducks are absolutely wrecked, right? At this point,
they are. They're very, I think, maybe a little bit undervalued. That's what I'm looking for. I'm starting to bargain shop. I think if you know what, not financial advice. We already covered that. But I am starting to, again, I'm picking up projects that I feel like are going to do well in the next bull cycle. So I got some Nakamigos, got a few more Deadfellows, and I got a subduck now. So there you go. Those are my latest pickups. I do have full transparency. I've got some bids on a couple other projects, but especially Deadfellows. I went heavy on the bids on Blur to try and get some more fellas. But I had to go ahead and just sweep these two up off the floor because they're just too cool.
Just bargain shop. I see your vessel over there. I see that. All right.
They're three vessels.
Yeah, they're only 0.09. What else you got in there?
I only have one fucking land, but it's my OG number 9307.
This man's like almost exited the entire BAYC ecosystem.
I still got my vessels. I still got my heavy metals. I still got one other deed.
Where's your kennel?
It's gone. It's gone, bro. Still got one of my cargoes. Got a whole gang of chungos.
You're telling me you didn't have any type of like remorse selling your dog?
Of course I did, bro. I sold it so low. Yo, I got a couple new art blocks recently that I'm really proud of, including this Chimera by MP Cause.
Ooh.
Yo, this thing is fucking beautiful, and I listed it at 4.3 ETH. But it's fucking amazing.
All right, we're going to get out of Gift Dad's bags here and go into the NFTGo Bag Check. So NFTGo is the sponsor on this month's episode of NFT Live. We love using their platform for different analytics, for NFT drops, for price floor action, to look at the overall market overview, which we love showing every single day. But we love the NFTGo guys and gals there that are building a really awesome analytics and data platform. So without further ado, let's head into the NFTGo Bag Check. Market sentiment at 20. We're cooling off hard. Like this is cold, guys. This is the lowest I've seen the market sentiment indicator in a long time.
That's the whole market in a cold storage wallet, in a cold wallet right there. You liked it.
30-day profits and losses are really bad. We have 417,000 wallets in 30-day losses. Blue chip index isn't looking that great over the last 7 days. ETH kind of pumped a little bit, so we're a little bit low against ETH. We're down against USD over the last 7 days, but not as much as ETH. Market cap, we're holding volumes against ETH. It looks like the market cap has kind of straightened out here at the end of this 7-day period. Against USD, looks kind of the same, but we're up from the start of last week, so that's good to see. Holders and traders, holders continuously going up. 4.4 million holders of NFTs on the Ethereum network, which is interesting. Traders is down. Over the last 7 days,
this doesn't track Polygon yet, even though that is Ethereum layer 2, right?
Yeah, it doesn't track Polygon
So imagine what that would look like with Polygon right now, with what's going on with Nike and Starbucks and fucking everything else.
That's fair. Yeah. Mutant Ape Yacht Club is going to take the top spot over the last 7 days. Wrapped CryptoPunks, Miladies, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Pudgy Penguins, Azuki, Doodles, Redacted, Remilio Babies, Heavy Metals, Art Blocks, and others to round out the top 10 there. And then over the last 24 hours, let's check in. Mutant Apes, CryptoPunks, Miladies, Bored Apes, Art Blocks, Pudgies, Opepin, Azuki, the Gods making their entrance there, and Redacted Remilio Babies to round out the bag check. And let's look at hot mints. Let's see if we can look at what's going on just on the mint section or the trending collections. Apologies. So in the last 6 hours, Opepin's doing really well. Nakamigos has some strength there, 0.278. Good call, Gifted.
So far, There it is. Yo, this is the first time we've seen Oni Force on the
gonna-
front page of NFTGo in a minute. This is exciting. This is exciting stuff
put me
happening
on watch.
in real time. Will Pudgies are absolutely popping off as well. O'Peppin is one of the stories of the year. I mean, what Jack Butcher is doing. When merge, though? I need an update on the merge collection, Jack. What's up? What's up, Jack?
Talk about
what's
my
going
bags.
on with the merge collection? Because I got a bag of these merges, and I'm just really hoping that he can pull some kind of magic together with that, like he's done with the O'Peppins, because that's phenomenal. And I don't know, like, have you gone and just like looked through all the different versions of it?
No.
It's a really fascinating project, man. Like what he's doing, it's super interesting. I get why people are interested in it. It's innovative. It's different. It all spawned out of that, the burn mechanic, manifold, open edition meta. And it seems like that's maybe the biggest winner at this point of like all of that whole meta. Jack Butcher is like the winner. We can call that now. I feel like, for the first like couple months of 2023, the open edition meta was like all the rage, and there was a bunch of projects that did well. Maybe Lucrece, you could say, was a winner too. Maybe the like runner up winner was.
How was the floor? Is it?
I haven't checked the floor, but like those projects, I think will retain value for some time. But Jack Butcher, man, did he hit a massive home run with the open editions and all these burn mechanics.
Okay, Choin is saying gotta run, but I'll catch the rest of the episode when I get home tonight. OVOT, our vibe, our tribe there to Choina. Thank you guys for tuning in. NFT Live here on the Web3 Network. We host these every day, 1 p.m. Eastern, right after our morning show on Twitter Spaces. So that is definitely something you should check out. Maybe subscribe, maybe like. White Arts Magic says, what is your definition of an NFT being a blue chip? I would consider Oni already a blue chip. So that is the question, right, on the thumbnail. Could Oni be the next blue chip? This is an interesting discussion. I will bring up something that we work on from time to time. For those of you that are interested in our thoughts on what a blue chip looks like, I can bring up the Rate My Bag section. But that's a really, first of all, a great topic. I think the easiest way to answer this might be by market cap. Like I know that people might take offense to that, but if you look at a project by market cap and you set a certain market cap that, hey, beyond this mark you have blue chips and below that mark you don't. I think it's a good...
the only caveat to that is if you don't pair that with a few other metrics like unique holders, then it becomes problematic. So market cap plus like unique holders or some other engagement metric, I think is how you really get there. Because if you've got a market cap of 100 million on a 10K, but you've only got like 10% holders, that's not really a legit project.
Yeah.
Right?
And things like supply, you're right, because the ratio has to be some type of like combination of things, because you could have a very, very large supply of things. Like you could release a ton of different assets. Like I'll give you an example. NFT price floor here sorts by market cap. You can see right up there by market cap. I don't know what we can actually search by USD value. There you go. So I believe this is just Ethereum. So you just keep that in mind. But the Sandbox is number 11. Decentraland is number 13. Like these are projects we wouldn't necessarily say are quote unquote blue chip. I mean, some people could get in there and say some of that, but there are those, to your point, GIF, in this area that aren't blue chips, in my opinion.
I think it's an interesting place to start the conversation, and that we'll probably get to a couple different indexes where it's going to be like the S&P 500, where it's like, the top 100 or top 200 people basically rank them as like, these are the blue chips, you know what I mean? And then you'll start these types of indexes. I think right now is like a loose reference. You could go to like, okay, what are the top, 50 or the top 25 or something. And most of those are probably going to be quote unquote blue chips. And then it gets a little bit subjective from how you want to analyze those.
If you're talking about complete objectivity, just fully AI algorithms, just all true, no subjectivity whatsoever, you want to go to the Rate My Bags edition on NFT Live. So this is put together by myself and Gifted. And yes, we use a lot of science. And this is what I mean. If you want to talk blue chips, A and above. Like that would be a definition of a blue chip. Maybe if you want to go with just S tier, then you could say blue chips, Yetis forever on the blue chip status.
I mean,
But
this
yeah,
algorithm is so sophisticated that it can understand irony and memes and
it's
internet
true.
culture to the point that it identifies the Super Yeti as clearly an S tier and a blue chip project.
You're right. I couldn't have said it better myself. I don't understand how it's not implemented into ChatGPT 4. It's proprietary, so we'll see if we can make billions of dollars off of it.
Yeah, so it's the most sophisticated NFT ranking algorithm that's been invented at this point, and most people aren't even aware. So if you're here right now getting to learn about this, props to you. You're an insider.
So I mean I don't see an issue with any, like, my only issue here is probably like B tier. What's a blue chip in there? You know, Moonbirds and Doodles have the recognition, so that would be ones that I might move up. Um, yeah, I mean, other than that, I feel confident with our blue chip.
Here's a question for you. What does Azuki need to do at this point to get to S tier?
I feel like we have Azuki blind spots. So it's tough. Like, we're both not holders of Azuki. We haven't, for our own reasons, been involved in Azuki. I could not answer that.
Let us know in the chat. What is the thing that you think would take Azuki to that next level? Or is it already, do you think Azuki is already blue chip, S tier, like can't really do much more right? Or is there something else that they need to do to push themselves to that next S tier level? Because right now we've got them ranked at A. A lot of that is the provenance of the project and the team still weighing on them a little bit, I think, given like how they performed. So I think we still have some like kind of doubts and like negative sentiment around it, just being transparent on that. But, I could point out at least one thing that they could do is figure out how to provide more value in terms of like a token or some kind of staking or something. Like, I don't think they really do that yet. And maybe I'm wrong. Again, to your point, we have some blind spots. We are not in Azuki. So let us know if they have plans on like a coin or any sort of staking mechanisms or other sort of value propositions like that to drive more of a return for their community. I think that would be something that would do well. Other than, of course, continuing to build out massive partnerships that just keep raising the floor,
I mean, Azuki looks absolutely crazy, right? Like, if you look at some of these charts, and this is all time. Like, this is in an area from September of last year to now that does not reflect most of the market.
No, all the other charts,
you just turn it upside down.
Yeah, it's almost every other project is inverted from this. It is absolutely absurd what they've done. And that was, it highlighted, shout out NFTGo again. They're constantly putting together super, super high value, like really high quality insights and reports for free for the community that you can go check out at NFTGo.io for free underneath their insights tab. They've got all these reports for you. They recently published a report with Coin actually on the first quarter of the year. And one of the insights it pointed out was a lot of the details around like how much better than the rest of the market Azuki's been performing, and basically pointing out they've been like the most resilient NFT project through all of the bear market.
Yeah, no, that's fair, and we pointed out some reasons why that might exist. NFTGo, I'm gonna pull up OniForce now. Congrats.
I can tell your energy is just like it hurts.
Yeah, well, it hurts to look at the charts, but I'm happy for you. It's that meme. I'm happy for you.
We're both holders. Be happy for us, bro.
Look,
we are Enclave. We are Oni. We're Ethereal Enclave. We are in it.
So this is 0.7, right? So this is 0.7. We're up 135% in that 30-day period. So yeah, congrats to holders. Again, we are waiting out a little bit of an announcement here from OniForce, but you can see the volumes picking up. You see some whale, looks like whale to blur swap. So there's some interesting, obviously we've been covering blur since its inception into the NFT market. Market cap sitting at 25 million. Total volume almost in the top 20. Unique holders 46%. So yeah. What's Logan Paul doing?
It would be interesting to see if Logan Paul is picking up on any of this and feeling any better about buying the top.
All right, we got so Forbes Japan did a story there. That's another thing, man. It's just like looking at the anime projects. Like again, like I hate to be like the 20 IQ guy. Like I we need to have a name for that bell curve meme, but it's basically 20 IQ, 80, and then 180 IQ. The 20/180 IQ it's an anime project, and the Asian markets we've been hearing are picking up on the NFT side.
But it's not just an anime project. It is the OG. Like if I was Oni Force listening to you right now, I'd be offended. And I am offended.
There's other anime projects. There's other manga projects.
It's the first. It's the one that created the whole, like, Azuki ripped, like, let's be fucking honest. If you actually know the details behind what happened between Oni and Azuki and like their whole, like, stealing their whole like team of all their community team and all their Discord managers and all this shit, and like straight up like riffing off of the art in a lot of obvious ways, like Azuki absolutely riffed off of what Oni did, and so many other anime projects popped up after Oni because Oni, when it came out, was original. It was the first one, and it had that fucking takeoff. It took off like a rocket ship to the moon, like no project before it. No NFT project ever before Oni Force took off the way that it did on launch. And that's why it is the original OG. And so, yes, it's an anime project, but to just consider it like another anime project, I think is doing it a disservice.
I'm going to be honest. You sound like you're holding 25 of these Oni Forces.
Dude, I was literally there trying to convince Brian Lee to do a PFP project with me in my Nifty Castle rooms on Clubhouse before this project even started, hanging out with their whole team.
Ronan was trying to do the same.
That's why I have token number 35. Like I'm friends with the whole original team. I've been there since before it was even a thing, bro. So I know the history of it. I care about the project. And I told you, it also has a special place in my heart because other than Bored Apes and the Bored Ape ecosystem, I've done better off of Oni Force than any other project. Like I've done very, very well because of the success of Oni Force project and being tapped into it early on. So I love the project, regardless of how many I currently hold. I'm still a holder and I love it.
Yeah, we're showing our age here, but we actually had Oni Force on the channel for an NFT live all those years ago when they first launched, and we did a launch episode with them. So that was a fun time.
I'll also say this
for sure.
Yeah, but I'll also say this. I'm also like really, really glad and excited about the fact that they are sort of a leading case study in what it looks for a, challenged, dead. It wasn't dead, but like a challenged project that has done very, maybe kind of fumbled a lot of different opportunities or didn't do very well for a while, to be resurrected and have a second life. And I think that these types of case studies, these types of examples of successful, acquisitions or, what's the word? Like derugging, sort of like the whole derugging idea, I think is a really, really cool idea for NFT holders. And to have examples where you can successfully take these, beloved IP that maybe just haven't really been doing much or have had some difficult times, and then reinvent them or reinvigorate them and keep building on those IP. I think this is a tremendous moment for the space, and something that, again, even if you're not an Oni holder, you should kind of want this to succeed. It's kind of like the Pudgy Penguins thing. Like, I'm not a Pudgy holder, but like what they just did on Amazon, I think is fucking phenomenal. And I think it creates an example for a lot of other brands and IP to see the potential of, what Amazon can do, what toys can do in the space. So I don't know, man. I think it's great.
I spent a majority of that time trying to find the episode. And I know that you had some great things to talk about Oni Force.
You just let me simp. You just let me simp super hard.
I felt that. Yeah, there's a no beard Nifty Q up there, and also Ronan the Collector. But look at that,
dude. What happened to your chin?
I have no idea. This is actually a throwback. They talk about mint price on here, I believe. Oh, the 0.07 mint price. This is a throwback episode here on NFT Live. Man,
Oh, he's
I've aged 20
still
years.
wearing the Cowboys merch. Jesus,
Yeah. Well,
turn it off.
actually we interviewed Des Bryant's project on that one, so I had to rep the Cowboys on that. Yeah, but we're still waiting for the comeback tour here. Starts tomorrow, but we will get to some other topics as well. Let us know any topics you want us to cover here on NFT Live. We're probably going to go for another 20 minutes. Nakamigos are far from a blue chip. I would agree with that. Nakamigos cannot be considered a blue chip at this point. Let's see. Oni is the original blue chip. All others are copies. Also, how can you support a serial rugger in Azuki? That was the original. Yeah, that was the original.
We had them like
fun.
on Rect. Like if you remember NiftyQ, when we started Rate My Bags, I wouldn't even let you put it on. I was like, no, like there's no way we're gonna allow Azuki to foul up our pretty board here. We literally wouldn't even put it on the map, but they've performed at a rate and in a way that almost no other project has. And so the unfortunate truth is that like you can't ignore the project anymore. As much as like, frankly, I kind of wanted to or would like to, just based on the fact that the founder is a serial rugger, and that's not cool. It fucking sucks, and we should not incentivize that in the space or reward people. What are you gonna do? Like Azuki's here, you know what I mean? Like, and it kind of gets to your, you know, one of your favorite things, Q. It's like, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? You know, it's like, that's why I don't want to keep ignoring it. Like, I've been looking at the beans, like, should I fucking buy in? I don't know, man.
Yeah, a lot of times this space, at least the majority of individuals, they're kind of looking at it, you know, continuously objectively, right? When they're talking about, hey, do I, you know, I know this happened, but the project has XYZ going forward. It has some type of narrative backing it. So maybe this is an opportunity to buy. White Arts Magic said, love Azuki. Our community is great. Leader needs to be outed. In my opinion, they will always be around, but they need to update the leadership, which is a take that we've spouted again on this channel. So we agree with you there. Okay, so we have a couple other stories to get to before the end of the episode. We'll also, you know, again, take any topics that you guys like to cover. We're still awaiting this Oniforce announcement. So if it does pop while we're live, of course, we'll touch it. I'm interested, Gif, in this movement that's happened over the last week and a half on the mobile front. So both STEPN and Axie Infinity have taken some major moves in the iOS department. So mobile gaming, again, is going to be probably the most adopted form of Web3 gaming. At least that's the thesis, that it is the most adopted gaming platform right now, or at least hardware. Most people have, you know, mobile phones. They're going to be able to play that. But yeah, so Origins is able to be played on iOS. The first time Apple has agreed to make an externally purchased NFT usable on the App Store. And then STEPN comes through a couple days later and says Apple Pay as a means of onboarding is going live. So we have both STEPN, which was that famous move to earn app that got a lot of play in at the end of the last cycle, and as well as like Axie Infinity, two ones that have been getting after it for a year plus.
Honestly, these are some more big wins because I think a lot of the space, including us, have been actually kind of feeling like that whole play to earn era was done and dusted and dead. And this is another example of kind of like derugging these projects where it's like, if you can actually get a little bit more interoperability, if you can make it more accessible, these things might still have life. And you've seen both of these tokens, the Axie token and the STEPN token, pumping off of this news. And these are these games, you know, these interactive Web3 experiences that do include actual decentralized assets and digital ownership of NFTs in their gameplay and different types of tokenomics. They are now integrated into iOS and the Apple App Store. Like, this is actually really, really huge for the whole space because, again, they're showing the way forward. I do think it's also really fascinating. Okay, this is one of the most interesting things about this STEPN Apple Pay integration. So what's happened specifically with StepN, which is the Move to Earn app, you have to purchase an NFT of some shoes, and then that basically allows you to participate in the Move to Earn, program where each day you're allowed a certain amount of movement that will acquire a certain amount of tokens. You can now buy that through Apple Pay. No crypto needed. It sets up a wallet. You don't even need a crypto wallet. You can literally now just use your credit card that's already hooked up to the Apple ecosystem, use Apple Pay, like 1 or 2 clicks. You own an NFT now without a crypto wallet that allows you to participate in this. So this is really big. It makes it super easy. But what's really interesting is that it has a 42% markup, like a 40% markup. And that's obviously an Apple premium. You're getting taxed for being an Apple user. The App Store does tack on that 30% or whatever it is tax to all transactions. But in this specific case, it's a 40% difference than if you just bought the same NFT using crypto. Does this then start to incentivize more people to adopt crypto? If they start to say like, hey, look at this cool new game I can get into. All my friends are getting into this game. Wait a second, I keep paying 40% more for doing it this way and just not having a crypto wallet. It's self-interest at some point you would think would take hold if this becomes like a common situation, and then more people would want to do it via crypto. So I don't know. That's a fascinating new thought that is going to be playing out in real time with these types of developments. But maybe more people get onboarded when they realize that like, oh shit, using these centralized systems is not actually, it's you can cut out the middleman going straight to crypto, right?
These mobile games and having operability in the Apple Store really sets up a nice like launch pad into maybe end of 2023, maybe early 2024. Otherside starts to come out. They start to implement a from the ground up approach to a decentralized open metaverse, right? Because a lot of these other implementations are going to have Web 2 features or infrastructure and try to implement Web 3. The other side pulling this off from the ground up is going to be really interesting. Then you have the ability to have mobile games bridge assets in and out seamlessly, which we haven't had. Sets it up for a nice little potential bull narrative there. I'm interested.
Yeah, and we've talked about the importance of mobile for accessibility in general. It's honestly been one of the weak spots of a lot of the metaverse plays so far. Like I think is Decentraland I think Decentraland, like you couldn't even use on mobile. And anyway, 60 to 70% of all traffic comes from mobile devices at this point, right? It's just that is the way to onboard the vast majority of people is by having awesome mobile experiences fully integrated into these mobile operating systems like iOS. So to your point, Q, these types of things are really, really huge to look at and point towards the future. We've talked about the Solana phone. That's an interesting development that we should follow up on in the next couple of weeks. I don't even know where that's at yet. Like if anybody's even got them in their hands yet.
Well, we saw that one review where the guy had it in his hand, right?
Okay, yeah. The initial reviews on that were not looking very good, and I think we were both pretty bearish on that lasting more than a year or two, or maybe just getting acquired. But these types of mobile developments are going to be super, super important. Yeah. to mainstream adoption, at least like it. And again, it gets me now into like AR versus VR, right? It's like, where do you think the metaverse is going to actually be used the most? Where do you think people are going to be spending most of their time? Where do you think like mass adopted NFTs and use cases and utilities are going to live? It's going to be on your phone. And in the next year or two, it's all going to be on your phone. And if it's not on your phone, it's going to probably not work out. It's not going to make it.
We've been having the wallet discussion too. Like, I don't want to dive down any more of this rabbit hole, but we've been having the wallet discussion and people keep thinking, hey, Solana phone or some type of Like Ledger might have like mobile integration. It already has Ledger Live. But to me, it feels like maybe even Apple or Android could tackle this. They've already kind of attempted to with this couple of their releases. But if they have mobile phones that have seamless integration into Web3 apps, you'd want some type of like nice seamless UI UX for a crypto wallet. And maybe that's something that the Apple can attack themselves.
At a certain point, it would not make sense for them not to, right?
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, if they can figure out the sort of like the logistics or regulatory, necessities of launching a hardware product, why would they not create a hardware product to tackle this situation?
Okay.
Or again, back to the acquisitions thing, why would they not, like they acquired like Beats, they've acquired different, tangential hardware and obviously software too. Why would they not acquire like a Ledger or something like that? Like you could even see like, the stacks and the Ledger, things, you could see those in an Apple store.
Yeah. So I've got some comments that I want to get back to. We see you, Quasar. We're saying Star-Lord is comparable to Dan and White. Interesting. Azuki's community is par none. Got nothing but love for him. Marty McFly saying Azuki's are legit. How comes no one's talking about the heavy metal reveal? Is it because it was weak?
We talked about it a little bit. We could go look at more of them.
DP,
they're pretty cool.
DP says Web3 needs better UX UI devs and world-class marketing professionals, and most of those people are still in Web2 at all of the best tech and mainstream companies. This is, again, I think we were having this discussion with what we need in crypto, and we need more regulation so people can find this to be able to be more easily used. And it really comes down to that, is we need more people that are on the product design side that aren't working at this big behemoth, company that's really developing some really cool UI UX. A lot of times in Web3, like I'll give you an example gift. Like we're talking about Web3 media and how bad the content creators are in this space 2 years ago or a year ago, with like everyone sitting in their mom's basement, kind of having like janky discussions. While in Web2 media, you can see how far along they are with the creativity, with the production value, all of these different things. Make that same analogy to tools in this space. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of jankiness that comes along with new industries. And I think us being in media, we know this, but you're talking about tools in this space being super janky, and other tools that are being developed in traditional tech that are awesome, like have great UX UI. That's what we need here. So great point, DP there.
Yeah, like blockchain and Web3 is filled with some of the best like devs in the world, but not necessarily like UI UX designers yet, right? Like I do think we're lagging on that part of it. It's kind of like the engineering, is all getting figured out, and then the front end should come. And I think you are starting to see more of that. Whenever you see like a glossy, high quality cinematic video come out from a Yuga Labs or a Pudgy Penguins now, or you start to see really, really polished UIs and experiences from Starbucks and Nike. Like you're starting to see more of that coming out, but the vast majority of the experience is still not super smooth. And mobile, I do think mobile is a core component to all of that.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. I agree with that completely. All right, let's take a look at the heavy metals. I mean, we brought it up on reveal day.
There's some speculation around this too about the game that it's going to be play to earn and for ApeCoin, and that also you can like buy different traits and assets with ApeCoin as well.
Yeah, if you can find that tweet, I can pull that up because there might be some ApeCoin utility pieces. I would think almost 100% there's going to be ApeCoin utility pieces. I think one of the main reasons why heavy metal didn't get like that much run is because it was supposed to come out early. I think like maybe like 3 weeks ago, and it eventually got pushed back. So people were have kind of been talking about it for a long time. Like we've had these boxes for a minute, And I think people were like expecting a sooner release, but we're talking about it in all that time. The other reason why they're probably not being talked about the most is because they're essentially game items, right? Like you could think of them as game items if you really wanted to. They're going to have these utility pieces attached, and they're not just like PFPs to look at and admire and all these different things. They're actually just game items or avatars, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, I do think that's an interesting point, specifically that they're not PFPs. I think whenever projects like collectible projects, NFTs try and do something unique and different that doesn't fit the sort of standard PFP mold, it's just harder. Like they don't get the same attention. People don't rock them as PFPs. People don't speculate on them the same way as they do other things. There's just it feels like there's just very few collectible projects that don't fit that sort of PFP mold that get as much attention.
Yeah, and honestly, another thing that Yuga's been dealing with, and we've been covering it, but like it just accepted at this point is they've gone full complexity chasm. So there's like multiple different launches happening at once. Like the Other Deeds launch was like earlier this month, and not launch, but the vessels was earlier this month. So think about that. Like all of this stuff is happening at once, so it doesn't leave open the opportunity to talk about this stuff for a long period of time because it's like, oh shit, the vessel's launched. Oh, now we have the codependence. Oh, now we have the heavy metals. Oh, Legends of Mara is coming out here in the next week. Like the release schedule's kind of wild on that side. Yeah, I mean, so there's different HV types here that we can cover. So you got the glitch; those are going to be like the I believe least expensive ones. The dynamics honestly look worse to me. Like the glitches, I think look better. Then you start to get in bios, which we can cover as well. If you see any that stand out, let me know.
To me, I think like I've actually spent a fair amount of time like just searching through them, and I still haven't seen probably most of them. I think that there's actually a lot of really cool designs. And again, I actually appreciate the art that goes into this and the fact that they are doing something different than like a normal PFP. Obviously some of them are like more awkward than others, but that's like any collection. You're going to have certain traits that you don't like very much. Some of them that are dumb. I do like the bios actually a lot. I think I like the bios more than the knights, honestly.
Really?
Some of the knights are cool.
Very Gundam feel.
Well, scroll through the knights real quick. Let's go look at a couple of these knights. Maybe there's more that I haven't seen. I mean, that one's dope with like the fucking swords.
Yeah, the companions on the shoulders are something that needs to be worked out as well. You can see some of these have companions and some of them don't. I believe the companions were for the Dookie Dash game that was afterwards, the Lick the Toad event. So if you got a certain, you basically got metadata attached if you scored a top one on that.
I don't know, man. I just feel like go back up. Like, okay, some of these knights are cool. Like that one on the far left is pretty fucking dope.
I think we can all agree the Reavers are probably the fucking coolest thing in this collection.
The Celestials are dope too. I mean, the Reavers are just wicked though. But I am curious, like, again, what's the strategy? Like, I don't know. To me, the confusing thing is I don't feel like people understand enough yet the value of these things to like know how to buy them or sell them. Like, we don't know how to value them yet in the larger ecosystem.
Yeah, here was my take, or at least my question to Arclegger yesterday, because I was asking about it. One, he's like super big on 10K TF, so that lets you know something. And if the back half of the episode is dedicated to alpha on heavy metal, Legends of Mara, Otherside, and 10K TF, so go and listen to that if you're super interested. We dive deep. But he was basically saying you have to look at this stuff in terms of how dedicated you want to be in this ecosystem. There's assets to get if you don't want to be super involved. And then there's assets to get if you do want to get super involved, and those will benefit you more so because you're super involved. So understand that. Like if you don't want to like deal with looking at this stuff every week or maybe every day, I don't know, there might be other assets you want to get involved. Obviously not financial advice.
I think there's gotta be some kind of development around that. And what I mean is, like, one of the cool things about Aavegotchi is that they have a vault that's like a service. So I've got 3 Aavegotchis now. Love my Aavegotchis. And they're in the Gotchi vault, which means that somebody is basically doing the petting or like whatever. Like, I don't even know what the daily maintenance is supposed to be on the Gotchis, but there's some kind of like daily participation.
Yep.
And I don't even have to think about that. And apparently they're getting petted. So my Gotchis are it's kind of like you take your dog to the, to the kennel or whatever, to the day spa, wherever while you go work. And you don't have to worry about that. So I would imagine there's going to be some very, very enterprising, brilliant people that figure out some kind of ApeCoin incentive to allow you to participate without putting all of your time and energy into this. So what kind of heavy metal vaults or vessel vaults do you think are going to be popping up?
Yeah, governance as well. I mean, ApeCoin. I had the pleasure of being on an ApeCoin DAO special council meeting, and it wasn't just the special council; it was specifically about the special council. So Yatsu and a couple others have been part of the special council, leading the ApeCoin DAO since its like launch, essentially. And now they're doing their best to kind of get more community members involved. But the ability to delegate your votes are another thing for the ecosystem. Like, there's going to be people that are really hardcore into the ApeCoin community, and those are the people you should delegate your votes to instead of having them sit there doing nothing. So all of these really cool aspects of Web3 governance and just like that ecosystem vibes that we get, and why we love this space is because so much of this shit's really cool. You could have some of your assets working for you in the game, and then you can have some of your assets staked to a protocol politician that is essentially doing your bid to do improvements on the network or the protocol. It's fascinating. I love it.
I did, by the way, share that tweet if you wanted to pull that up real quick, since it's relevant to heavy metals. But also on the politicians and the politics side, I have started to see stories pop up about political candidates in the US starting to accept Bitcoin and different types of crypto payments for their campaigns.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know how long that's been going on. I thought that was going on already. Like, people were accepting Bitcoin in like last election, I believe.
I don't know, maybe, but I know there's like there's definitely like a political action committee or whatever that Andrew Yang has started that is all about crypto regulation and being pro crypto, and it's like a lobby, I think, that is funded. You can support that. We should link to that, actually. That's probably a good thing.
All right, I'm going to read this tenacious tweet here while you're pulling that up. Heavy metal will be an ape sync. Heavy metal will also be play to earn. How can both be true at the same time? Spend ape for boosts. Use skills to earn rare traits. Sell traits for profit. Rinse and repeat. So here's an interesting dynamic, because Dookie Dash had the same thing. Dookie Dash was an ape sync, and it was also play to earn. There was some elements of an NFT obviously involved, but you could spend ape. But I don't necessarily know if it's an ape sync if that ape isn't being like burned or somehow, like, I don't necessarily think that can be an ape sync. It's just transferring into a different wallet. Like, that's my thing with a lot of this is it an ape sync if the ape is not burned? Like, if the ape doesn't somehow get removed from the ecosystem and it just is going to a wallet that eventually sells that ape back to the market, how is that an ape sync?
I'm not familiar with the term sync in this context, so I don't know, like, definitionally what it's trying to communicate.
Yeah.
Is it just saying that you're spending it, or, to your point, is it like getting it out of the,
a sync is
like reducing liquidity, right?
Yeah, reducing supply, I think, is what a sync implies. It's like if you're sitting in a bathtub and you remove the stopper, that is exiting the tub. You know what I mean? So the ability to have a sync is saying, hey, we're removing more ape from the ecosystem. But if you're just selling it to like Gucci, or you're just giving it to Gucci, and then Gucci eventually sells that ape to get USD, because they're not holding ape. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just interested in that dynamic. Like, it's eventually making its way back into the market. It's not a true sync. I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but yeah, the tweet says heavy metal will be an ape sync. Heavy metal will also be play to earn. Spend ape for boost. Use skills to earn rare traits. Sell traits for profit. Rinse and repeat.
I mean, so there's a chance here that this person has no idea what they're talking about. There's also a chance here that they just don't know how to use the term sync properly in this context. It's just speculation, but yeah, I would imagine there's some kind of ape mechanics built in. Maybe it's play to earn. That's exciting to think about. But yeah, to your point, they're definitely going to have some kind of like ways to purchase or use the ape coin.
There was a this image I thought gave the best look at what heavy metal might look like, right? So you have a very like Farmville-esque situation here. I think Alluvium Zero is another one to look at, which is like a farming kind of situation.
It said it's all 2D, but like that looks pretty 3D. I mean, just the quality of the art, if that's what it's. Is this a proof of concept or what is this?
Heavy Metal Forge. Build and customize a workshop that prepares your HVs for their evolution. Show off your creations to climb the leaderboard and unlock special abilities. Take risks and face the dangers of the rift to discover blueprints, gather materials, and craft upgrades.
But is this Yuga official or is this somebody creating their own?
No, this is Yuga official. This is heavymetal.com.
Oh shit! See, I haven't even seen this, bro.
Yep. Welcome to the chasm. This Here's my thing about this is you have to accept right up front that there are going to be people that are snorting Adderall off their table that are going to be just getting after it.
And hiring pros. That's the other outsourcing, spending money to gamify it. That's just part of it. That's part of it.
Yeah, exactly. And so you have to find yourself in the right situation to benefit, in my opinion. That's why I liked Arclegger's response was there are some assets that you can hold if you do not want to be active. Or if you want to compete and be on the leaderboards, you're going to need to be a little bit active, or a lot of bit active, because there's going to be a lot of people trying to do this exact thing. So anyways, I think we're long overdue for like an Otherside member, like Other Spaces is hosted by Baron Von Hustle. I would love to have Baron on to talk about the other side.
And Sean and Anna, shout out to them, doing the Lord's work over there. Did we figure out, okay, so the key from the Dookie Dash, the first place, did they just get a super rare vessel or did they unlock some funds or something else with that?
No, I think it just turned into a super rare.
That's it?
Mech.
Man. So all of that speculation that we had on like opening up the chest and getting the ape coin, and that was all a wash. It was all nothing.
I mean, maybe they still have it. We can check, but there's the legendary right here. So all the rest of us had to burn our passes to get, or our boxes to get this. So I love that there's a 1.9 ETH offer on this.
What did he buy it for? Like 1.5 mil.
Not even. Honestly, it's cool, but it's not 1.5 million cool.
Well, we haven't seen what it we haven't seen what it does yet.
That's fair.
We're getting trolled so hard by Butterworth over here.
You guys don't sound as bullish on Yuga as usual. What do you mean? I feel like we're covering it pretty enthusiastically. We're looking forward to the heavy metal. I just don't think that the heavy metals are. They're going the route of a game. In a game that from the ground up is decentralized and has Web3 assets. So everybody's like, why are you creating so many things? Have you ever gone into a game? Have you ever seen how many assets are in somebody's backpack or are in the hub? Like, that's the route they're going. Like, just accept it. It's It's a little weird. I'm extremely bullish. I'm not extremely bullish on like these assets increasing like 10x in price over the next 3 months, but that's why you have exposure in other ways. You have exposure to the yacht club if you own a Bored Ape. You know the yacht club is always going to be something that people are going to want to hang out in, and in the other side, like that's going to be the preeminent spot to be. So there's a lot of other utilities to that as well.
There you go. Sad I'm probably gonna miss out on Ape Fest this year unless somebody's got an extra ticket, got a guest pass for me.
You're asking for the guest pass.
Somebody,
damn,
yo, hook up an OG Ape with a guest pass to Ape Fest. Somebody out there.
Yeah, it's not a sink, it's a Ponzi.
No comment. This is just ignore it.
Yeah, that's a really really shitty take. All right. We are leaving here. We talked to Oni Force for the better part of 30 minutes, and I didn't cry, so that was a win. Gifted, I had a great episode with you. We had...
You did.
Wild Wild Web is out. I just want to make sure I'm hitting like all the housekeeping stuff because we have a ton. So we had Wild Wild Web pod. Do we have any guests on the GM Web3 show this week?
Yes, we do. This Thursday, we have Dan Carr, CEO of Nifty Kit, which is another amazing community-focused, artist-focused platform. They're coming on the show this Thursday on GM Web3 on Twitter Spaces. And, maybe we can get them on NFT Live too. I don't know. That could happen. We'll see. We'll see if we can get them on here as well for a little bit. But very excited to talk to Dan Carr and about all of the awesome developments that Nifty Kit has been doing because, they're empowering artists and helping to forge ahead through the bear market, create new tools, things that we need.
Love it.
As creators.
The other thing we need was an answer to the best PFP background color, but we didn't get a definitive answer. We got yellow and blue coming in at 30%. I was interested. I thought orange. Honestly, I think orange is one of my favorites, but that yellow just pops.
Orange is an interesting color. It's definitely one of the most. Isn't it the most popular Bored Ape background? Like that's why people like it because it's like there's no yellow background, but I think a yellow background might be more popular.
What's the worst color background? That's the question for tomorrow. We're gonna ask the same question, but kind of
brown.
Well, no, I'm looking at a thread guy, for example, has a purple background, and with the dark Twitter backgrounds, unless again you're some type of psychopath, it looks kind of like it blends in. It's kind of shitty.
Bro, Marty is trolling so hard right now. Yo, shout out! You know what? Shout out Marty for keeping our chat lit, keeping it exciting. Agree to disagree, but appreciate you being here.
All right, we're still waiting on Oni Force the comeback tour, so I'm sure directly after us ending the stream here, they are going to come out with this announcement. So we'll be looking out for that. I'm hoping to just absolutely. I'm going to do a rain dance. I'm going to pray to God that somehow we get some type of buying opportunity for this, and it doesn't run to 4 ETH. That would be awesome.
What are you talking about? The buying opportunities now before it goes to 4 ETH. I don't know what you...
We'll see. We shall see. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to NFT Live. Again, if you are here and you liked the content and you were particularly bullish today, you could leave a like. If you're bearish, do that too. Leave a like on the episode. We will be back tomorrow, GM Web3, as well as another edition of NFT Live. I'll see you guys later. Our Vibe, our tribe.